Imagine having contributed most to the world, but because your enemies write your narratives and controls your image, they've distorted all facts to make it appear that you've contributed the least to the world. They do so to create a false perception of reality that aids them in maintaining their social dominance over you within their society. That scenario is the hidden reality of what white oppressive forces have done to the black population. Case in point. What if I told you that the skyline of every major city around the world would look totally different than they presently do had it not been for black people? Because without black people, there would exist no skyscrapers. We only have skyscrapers because a black person invented the elevator. Without elevators, the tallest building would be no more than 5 stories high because most people don't want to walk up more than 5 flights of stairs every day. Black people also invented the fire extinguisher, the fire escape ladder, air conditioning, and central heating, which are all essential in order for people to live and or work within skyscrapers. So therefore, it's an absolute fact that the skyline of every major city around the world will look totally different than they presently do if it had not been for black people. A fact. What if I also told you that without black people, you wouldn't be able to watch this video right now, nor would you be able to be on this social media platform? You'd most likely say that I'm crazy. Whenever lies have been sold to the masses, the truth will always sound ridiculous, and the speaker of the truth will always sound like he's crazy. You know, of course you would think that I'm crazy because people's perceptions of others are shaped by the narrative that are repetitively fed into the society about others. And the narratives that are repetitively fed into the white dominant society about black people are consistently negative and black racially devaluing. Because the white society exclusively controls black people's narratives and images, by falsely negatively distorting them, they've made it appear that we black people are the leeches of society that have contributed the least toward building of civilization. Therefore, naturally, many people will say that my statement is crazy. But the perceptions created by the narratives that are fed into our society are rarely consistent with facts nor reality. Because it's absolutely truth that without black people, you wouldn't be watching this video right now, nor would you be on this social media platform. The only reason you're able to do so is because of a Nigerian computer scientist that developed a supercomputer that led to the invention of the internet. He's regarded as the father of the internet. And we're only able to communicate also because an African-American computer scientist who developed a computer programming what is called .com, which allows everyone to access the internet. And the camera and microphones on our cell phones were also invented by black inventors. Your perception of reality is an elaborate white deception. Many of us are waking up to the fact that the history we've been taught has been whitewashed to make Caucasians appear more significant through history than they truly in fact were, while making we Africans appear less significant than we were. Many of us are aware of this fact. It's a whitewashed version of history that's mandated upon us by the white society. And that whitewashing is the true reason why the white society are so strongly against true history being taught within our schools. Those who benefit from lies are always against the truth. Now, however, while many of us now knows that the history we've been taught has been whitewashed, however, the majority of us, perhaps 90%, are clueless of the fact that our perception of reality has also been whitewashed. I know that sounds like science fiction, but it's not. The distortion of the perception of reality is much more easily achieved than it sounds. The basic tool required for the distortion of reality is to merely repeatedly feed false narratives into the society. With time, the public constantly receiving the false information, their perception of reality will then align with the false narratives. They will now see the world through the narratives. This is what in the study of social science is called the illusionary truth effect. The illusionary truth effect is when people have been made to believe that false information is true because of being constantly subjected to the false information. And then they begin perceiving reality through the false information. They start functioning based upon the lies. This is precisely what white social engineering scientists and white propagandists have done. Because they control all of the official narratives and they control the mainstream media images, they therefore literally owns the interpretation of reality. They've exploited this immense power by deploying a perception management system that distorts the perception of reality in ways that aids in maintaining the white establishment position of social dominance over the black population. Perception management is a propaganda technique that involves altering the public's perception of reality to suit the objective of the ruling class. It's an essential part of information warfare. This disclosed perception management system is deployed like a media marketing campaign that constantly falsely exalts the white brand while perpetually marginalizing the black brand. It's designed to create and sustain false assumptions within the society that aids in maintaining white social dominance and white social capital over the black population. It's also designed to embed feelings of black inferiority into the collective subconscious minds of the black masses. According to white social scientists, doing so makes us more compliant with white dominance over our lives. It's in fact so effective that in many cases it causes many black people to even prefer white dominance over our lives. It literally makes many of us more accepting of our subordinate status within the white dominant society. White social scientists describe the nefarious practice as merely instilling a value system into the minds of the subordinate population that makes the subordinate population adhere to the authority and the existing infrastructure of the dominant culture. In order for the white society to maintain its social dominance over the black population, it's crucial to keep the black population believing the fraudulent worse and the fraudulent lesser about ourselves. So deception is therefore essential. The general population doesn't know what's happening, and it doesn't even know it doesn't know. That's a quote from Noam Chomsky. Through the nefarious practice, the collective self-image and the collective self-esteem of the white masses have been falsely bolstered at the expense of those of the black masses. Beloved black people, we must wake up to the fact that our historically proven worst enemies are exclusively controlling our perception of ourselves as well as our perception of reality. We must question all of our perceptions when they're being exclusively controlled by our historically proven worst enemies. Furthermore, these enemies have also proven themselves as being history's most notoriously deceitful, corrupt, narcissistic, and most evil group throughout history. These are facts. Naturally, whenever such a group controls our perception of reality and of ourselves, they're going to weaponize this scenario against us. Logically, those same noted evil proclivities and tendencies will manifest within their monopoly over what we believe. It's the type of people they inherently are. It's the way they've always been, and it's the only way they know how to be. We must question our perceptions when it's being exclusively controlled by our enemies, our historically proven, most notoriously deceitful enemies. I'm not, they brainwash us to believe that when we speak truth, we're being racist towards them. But I'm speaking the truth. Welcome to the real world. And this perception management system is actually so obvious that it's only by not critically thinking that it cannot be seen. But when you start critically thinking, you can tell that our society is falsely scripted by the fact that virtually all information that we receive about black people are consistently negative, and all that we receive about white people are consistently positive or favor themselves over us. All study results favor them over us, all statistics. Can you not see just how cartoonishly unrealistic it actually is to have study results and all information so one-sidedly favoring one group over the other? It's cartoonish, it's not real, it's not true, it's fraudulent propaganda. All societies function based upon the information that's fed into our society. And the narratives that are fed into our society are distorted to create and sustain false assumptions within the society that aids in maintaining white social dominance. You know, some of you say that we're gods, we're kings, and in a sense, you're right. They don't want us to know our greatness. This is why they marginalize our narratives. They marginalize who we are. They have us functioning based upon it. It is by design that they have us thinking that we are a people who calls ourselves by the N-word, that we are a people who sags our pants, that we are a people that Ebonics is a part of our culture. No, those who writes the people's narratives and controls their media images controls their culture. The white society, white social science and propaganda has created a derogatory image of us, and we are imitating that image of us. They are controlling us like they're puppets, and they condition us to function at a lower vibrational level by conditioning us to believe that we are something lesser when we are greater. We are the ones who create the inventions that lead society forward. We are the ones who created civilizations. We are the ones who invented writing, science. They keep it from us because we're being conditioned to perceive ourselves as inferior. It's within the education we're taught, even within the movies when we think we're being entertained. It's time to recognize the war against our minds. One love and peace.